What don't you know? Episode 100, bro. I feel honored. I feel blessed to be able to say that. That's crazy. When you think about where we started, where we came from, you know, how we started. And we'll get into that later because one of the questions that we got sent in was about that. But welcome, ladies and gentlemen. With me, my disembodied voice for the 100th time. Well, but there was a couple episodes you weren't the disembodied voice. But
yeah,
regardless, you were involved in every episode, whether it was the thumbnail or you telling me. But there was a couple thumbnails where, like, I was like, just, bro. You know, I remember. But no, but I like that because you push me. You push me to make better stuff. Like, I like that, man. There's some thumbnails where I'm glad you actually pushed me to make a better one because we can't have bad product. You know, we can't give the viewers bad stuff. So, but yeah, episode 100. I'm actually, like I said, I'm blessed. I feel great that we made it this far. If you guys are new to the channel, new to what we do here, yes, this is the 100th episode of the DrewCast, but we've done 50 plus Say What's Real episodes. We have a couple fantastic reviews. I've done videos that aren't associated with like either of those things. So yeah, we're well on our way to doing what we dreamed of, man. On Instagram though, this week, so I posted it. Let me roll back real quick for people who are listening, especially for the Spotify listeners. About a week ago on TikTok, I posted this video about an ex-CIA officer. His name is John Ramirez, and he was talking about like something's going to happen by 2027. The government knows about it, right? I posted on TikTok. That gets 50,000 views. And, you know, my followers on TikTok kind of jumped. It was really cool. I think about 400 new followers, which, you know, awesome, right? I post that same video on Instagram. And this time, though, like, bro, maybe the first day or two, like, the views were just, you know, average. Likes were average. But something like caught on, bro. And right now it's at like 103,000 views. And it literally took my follower count on Instagram from like the high threes to like now it's like at 1,200. So that's amazing, bro. That's awesome. Like, you know, all the new people who have been reaching out to me in my inbox on Instagram. I went because you have to go into like your filtered messages, you know, because if you don't follow them, and I had like probably about 7 or 8. A lot of comments like, "Hey, keep doing what you're doing, man. I just watched all your clips. You guys are amazing." That type of stuff. So I really appreciate that. That's cool to hear that, bro. But yeah, I mean, so it brought us into a whole new, different type of audience. I mean, having about 1,200 followers on any platform is a big deal, man. That's to me, that's like 1 million. So, and to the people who have 1 million, they're probably like, yeah. But to me, it means a lot. So, which was cool. Did you it's funny, Dustin, because in that same video, I'm pretty sure a lot of the comments and I actually responded to some of the comments on that Instagram video. A lot of the people were like, "Hey, man, you know, you said that you weren't just all talk, but then the video ended up being you just talking."
Was that video?
Yeah, but on Instagram we got those same comments too, and so I actually did reply. Right, I said, "Hey, my bad. That's just how I clipped this video, so you guys would go watch the full podcast." Because in the full podcast, I do talk about what I think is happening by 2027 and what this guy means.
No, I told you that too.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, I kind of did bait people with it, but I wanted people to go watch the actual video, which in that same time frame that this video is popping off on Instagram, YouTube, we're at 499 subscribers. And that same episode that clip comes from is way past 100 now. So people did go back and watch that full episode apparently. So it was at like 40, and then within like a span of a couple days, it's like past 100. So that, you know, awesome stuff. So yeah, in the future, I'll try to watch that, guys. I'll try to watch how I clip stuff. I don't want to clip it and like be like, I don't want you guys to feel like you got duped. Like that actually means a lot to me that I'm not like making my audience feel that way. So. But yeah, like I said last week, we have the Q&A. Not a good turnout, in my opinion, but nonetheless, I'm actually really happy that the people who did submit a question did. Means the world to me. You guys, you know, I love you. We got some people who have been day one fans, day one subscribers, day one supporters. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say fans. I don't really like saying fans, bro. I don't really think of people who watch us as like fans because like I just say supporters. I feel like if you say fans, that like you're putting yourself on a pedestal or like you're putting yourself above people. So supporters is cool with me. So, but yeah, we're gonna hop right into this Q&A with the first one. I'm actually gonna bring hers up first because she actually was the first one to ask a question this week. But my Aunt Brooke, she goes by Lyndsey. Her question though was, "What is my favorite conspiracy theory?" So thank you for sending that, Aunt Brooke. This one's kind of funny because like we do talk about this stuff a lot on the podcast. I'm kind of known for like, the alien conspiracy stuff because I'm like super into it, and a lot of stuff I probably come off crazy to a lot of people, but yeah, I mean, this one's pretty good because like I think throughout the ages it changes a lot for people, right? Like when we were younger, Dustin, you had like the moon landing. Is the moon landing fake? Did Hitler really die in World War II, and did he move to Argentina with the rest of the Nazis? Like did JFK really, the JFK conspiracy? There's 9/11. That's a good one. I know Warren makes fun of me for this, but and for people who are listening or if you're new, Warren used to be my co-host on the podcast, so, and good friend in real life. So I sounded like Trump right there, good friend, good guy, But he used to make fun of me because I would talk to him about the reptile, like the reptile people theory and like reptilian people, and he's like, "You're super crazy for saying that, bro," and like you sound insane. And I'm like, "Bro, but think about it. If the universe is so big, there is a chance that there's a race or some type of like creature out there that probably looks like a reptile, dude. The universe is big. Who knows? There probably is like super advanced reptile looking beings, So, but yeah,
I wonder where that even originated from. That had to originate from somewhere.
The lizard people theory?
Yeah, someone had to been like, fucking Hillary Clinton's a lizard, and then like just a whole community
just sorted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the funny thing about the reptile people theory though is you can't. Now tell me what you think of this, right? Because I know what Warren's saying. It does kind of sound insane, but you can't really write it off. It's one of those theories that like, yes, it is insane sounding, but like, can you actually write that off? You can't really write off the reptile theory. The reptile people theory. I don't think you can write it off. I think it's something like where it's like, but ooh, it's like that, right? Like, oh, like it kind of has like a double-edged sword there.
Yeah, I guess.
Like with the government, and I've actually said this in previous episodes that like the people who like run our world, they don't act like they're from here. So that's why the reptile theory or the lizard people theory for me kind of has some weight because the people who are in charge just don't act like they're from here.
They just kind of like don't give a fuck about human
or the planet that they're actually ruling on or the planet that they govern, So that's why that one holds weight. I think my favorite one though, and is this even a conspiracy theory? But like the whole like, are we alone? That's not a conspiracy theory, is it? No, that's not a conspiracy theory. Because I was gonna say that's like my favorite theory ever, is the whole are we alone, and if we're not alone, like what does that entail? Like is there other things out there? What is another thing? Is what we experience here on Earth like we see this as life, right? But like maybe on another planet, like life is completely different. So who knows? That's why that's my favorite theory, because it goes so like you can go so deep into the rabbit hole with that one. So, but what do you have a favorite conspiracy theory? What's like your personal favorite one?
I can't really think of one off the top of my head.
I would say
I don't really have a lot of conspiracy theories because like I just kind of don't believe a lot of shit in general. So like even if it's like bad, I don't believe it, or if it's like good, I don't believe it.
So are you on like are you one of those everything's fake type of people?
Ish, but not like extreme stuff. Like, man, the sky isn't real. Like,
or like the earth is flat or something.
Yeah, like obviously the sky is real, but like, yeah, I don't know.
Cole has a good. We have a friend named Cole, by the way, for people who are listening, and he has a good point. Like, unless you see something with your own eyes, you kind of can't 100% say that something's real.
Yeah, no, I think that as well.
Yeah.
And like the reason why I think that is valid, especially nowadays, is because we kind of see stuff getting altered or changed like now. Like
science stuff, like stuff that involves
up until like, let me gather that thought real quick. Hold on.
Well, I would say, and Brooke, before I get off the question, I would say either 9/11 is and 9/11, it shouldn't even be considered a conspiracy theory anymore. That is, to me, that's like probably, there's so many red flags with that one that one should just be widely considered like, y'all did some sneaky shit. But yeah, I think my favorite one is probably the lizard people one. That's actually, I know people like Warren are going to call me insane, but hey, you can't prove it either way, in my opinion. So thank you, Brooke, for your question. Next question. So Norberto, bro, hey, and by the way, he's like an OG supporter of the show. Been with me since day one, bro. Like I remember telling him about starting the podcast, and he was like, excited about it. So shout out to you, Norberto, man. And he actually asked multiple questions, but we're gonna hit one. We're gonna hit one at the moment. His question is, who's my top 5 worst managers? I can't necessarily answer that, and he knows why I can't answer that, but without saying the company name or the actual person's name, there was a guy one time who was my manager, right? And when I first met him at the place I worked at, he was decent, nice, just would say hi and bye. But then like right before he gets promoted, he started to like switch. Like he would tell my coworkers like, "Hey, that guy's a bad influence. He's no good. Don't." And I'm like, why is he saying that? Like I was always confused. Like, what? He said that about me? Like, that's weird. I don't even talk to this guy. And at the time I was, dating somebody that I worked with at that place. And on his last day, because he was supposed to be going to to like a different place to like, learn how to be a higher up manager, And on his last day, he's like, "Hey man, before you leave tonight, like I want to pull you aside and talk to you about something." I'm like, "All right, cool. Bet." But then he comes back like 30 minutes later and he's like, "Hey, I was going to wait until you off the clock, but now I think that'd be a bad idea. So, can you come over here with me?" And I'm like, "Okay, yeah." Like I was like wondering what he's going to talk about, right? And he straight up pulls me aside. He's like, "Hey, like I think your girlfriend's a bitch." Hey, he straight up said, "I think your girlfriend's a bitch. She's one of the worst people that work here." Like just starts going in, right? And like my other coworkers who were like witnessing at the time, like they saw my face turn hella white. I was like, what the hell is happening? And now in my head, I'm like, damn, that's why he wanted to tell me on the clock, right? Because he knew that on the clock I would be less inclined to do something physically, right? So he tells me that, and like he walks away, and I was like so perplexed, bro. I was like, what the hell, bro? Like, did he just tell me that? You know what I mean? Like, who tells people that, bro? And I encountered him a couple times after that. Like he came back to work at the same job that, that we had at that time as the higher up manager, like a couple years later. It was funny, bro. I mean, he tried to pretend like nothing happened. Like he didn't just say, you know what I mean? Like years later, like, "Oh, what's up, man? How you doing?" Like, "Oh, hey, because guess what? You tried to act like you didn't say that to me. So, hey, guess what, bud? I used to be so rude about him too. Like, hey, bye, bud." But yeah, I can't do the top 5 yet. I might do that in the future. That'd be a good one to hit. So, Norberto's next question. He wanted to ask me if Meghan and Harry are BS, bro. Like the royal family. Prince Harry. Are they BS, Norberto? Yeah, bro. I don't know too much about them to answer this question. I still wanted to address it though because I know they have a show on Netflix. I know they've been making rounds in the media. I know Harry has like a book that's out too. But yeah, I don't know too much about them to say whether they're BS or not. And the only thing that I really know is that wasn't Meghan Markle saying that like the royal family said her baby, they were worried about he would be too dark skinned. And then Harry said that he didn't think that was racist. Like somebody asked him like, "Hey, you don't think that's racist that your family said that?" And he goes, he said no. He said he didn't think his family was racist for saying that. They were like, "So your family was worried that your son would be too dark skinned. You're saying you don't think they're racist for that?" He said no. So he defended his family on that one, man. So, I mean, I think I wanted to hit that point. It's not that because I would defend my family too, right? But like, would you have done that in that instance, in that moment, Dustin? Like if they asked you that, like, hey, do you think your family's racist for saying that? Like, would you be like, nah, they're not racist, man? I think I would have too, man. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, probably.
I think people would like kind of be lying to themselves if they said otherwise. Like, oh, I wouldn't have protected my family. Well, yeah, there's gonna be people who don't protect their family, and there's gonna be people who do, right? So again, I don't know too much about them. I know they're making rounds in the media. I mean, clearly, I think Norberto clearly thinks they're BS because I think he called them idiots too, by the way, which is fucking hilarious. He'd have to tell me on Norberto, actually message me why you think that, because actually that'd be funny to cover in like a later episode. So, and Norberto's last question, because he said he was gonna send me another one. So Norberto's question: what are the chances that UFOs are actually super advanced radar? The stealth bomber was at least 30 years ahead of the curve. What if the government has radar that's so far advanced it gives crazy results, which makes it seem like the plane is moving instantly across great distances? Great question, Norberto. Great question. So they're actually like, you actually might be onto something, bro. Like, I know a lot of YouTubers touch on this topic and like people in the UFO community. But yeah, bro, they're probably like especially the US, man, because the US seems to be the most like secretive about this topic. To me, they do. They probably do have planes and stealth bomber type planes that can go crazy speeds, that can do crazy stuff that they're just probably never going to tell us, man. You know, they're using it as the whole, it's against national security because, like, what if Russia finds out, or what if China finds out and they make that and they try to take over I think this is all what this has ever been. I think everything involved with this topic is just each country trying to outdo the other one and not trying to have, like, another superpower figure this technology out so they can, you know, rule the planet. Because basically, a lot of people have said that if you're able to like reverse engineer these UFOs and like learn how to use them and anti-gravity, you're gonna rule the world. So that could be why the government's secretive about it. And so yeah, to answer your question, I do believe the government has planes or stealth bomber type planes that can do this, but I also believe not everything you're seeing is us. There probably is a small percentage that's not either from this planet or just something that we can't explain. So yeah, that's actually a good question, man, because, you know, yeah, I mean, clearly they have stuff that we don't know they have. So, but yeah, thank you for sending that in, Norberto. So Sion, my boy Sion, man, and he's this kid, man. He's fucking hungry, eager to learn. You know, he started editing videos and he makes beats and loves to rap, and he's just like a hungry dude, bro, and I love that about him. So, but his first question, so Sion asked, how did you start and why did you start? So how did we start and why did we start? I believe me and Justin were in his living room in his apartment one night, and I think we mentioned the Joe Budden podcast. I think that's what brought this up. But I mean, regardless, like, me and you just had like an idea. We said, yeah. And why we started it, why we started it may have changed by now. I mean, to me, I just wanted to do something cool. I wanted to like bring entertainment to like the Seattle area, wanted to cover music and interview people and just, you know, talk about life experiences with these people and, you know, like broadcast their story to a larger audience. And I remember our first week, bro, our first podcast that we interviewed somebody was with God's Child, and bro, like, that was crazy because he was going through some like personal stuff in real life that like blew up all over Facebook. So every clip we posted, 10,000 views, 9,000 views, 1,000 views, people like tell those radio people to stop supporting him. And I was like, what? They think we're radio, huh?
That was our first.
Yeah. I believe so, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
We'll have to go double check that, but I believe that
the
God's Child interview was our first one, because I remember saying like, damn, our first interview, bro. Like our first product that we put out.
He got in trouble for not got in trouble, but
he was accused of allegedly taking a girl's car, which, you know, the way she posted about it on Facebook was completely funny to me, bro. Like the way she thought everybody was into like.
Oh, it was. Yeah, we did 2 videos without artists, and then our third one was
with him.
With him, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like that. So why we started, man? Yeah, I just want to entertain, bro. It's been growing. It helps our music too, because if the music's not pumping out every week or, you know, as much as it should be, it brings attention to that because people, you know, if you follow me or subscribe to me, like, wait, Andrew does music? Andrew and Justin do music? And then they'll go to our music page. And so that's kind of like if it kind of helps that too. So, but yeah, another question Sion had was, who's on top right now in the music industry? Bro, obviously, I'm going to say Drake. You know what I mean? Like, Drake's obviously on top. I mean, I don't see him slowing down in the next, like, 5 years. I think Drake has another 5-6 year window where he will dominate music. He will dominate the headlines. I mean, just recently with Her Loss, when he mentioned the whole Stallion line, you know, and he was mentioning he'd be, if he held his tongue up on that live, he'd be alive again. Like, Drake knows how to get people talking, right? He makes good music, but he also knows how to get people talking at the same time. And the memes play into it. Like, the more memes you guys make about Drake and the more you make fun of him, the bigger he gets. So that, you know, the more relevant he stays. That's kind of why I wouldn't care about the memes, right? I said I wouldn't care about the memes, but if I was him, like, I'd be butthurt at first, but I'm like, yeah, Justin, you know what? They're kind of fire, and like they're adding more eyes to me. You know, y'all gonna keep me relevant. So, another question my boy Sion had: last 10 years, what's the best movies you watched and why? And he also asked, because I'm gonna go off this last question because it involves rap. But he also asked, is rap the only genre you want to do? By the way, no, it's not. I would love to try to do like an MGK style of like a rock song, or maybe like an XXX where it's like kind of like pop rock or rock or rap, or like kind of like a Linkin Park type of thing. Like, I think it's cool to try any genre, by the way, besides country. I don't really like country music. Sorry guys, but you know what I mean? But yeah, and so the best movies that I've watched and why in the last 10 years. In the last 10 years, to me now, right, I would say Endgame. Bro, Endgame was fire. Infinity War was fire. The Force Awakens was a good movie. What about you, Dustin? Like, in the last 10 years, what are some movies that have, like, you know, like, got you, like, you know, there's probably a lot that me and you have seen together.
Recently, I think the most recent movie where I thought was really good was Smile.
Yeah, Smile was
that
awesome.
That movie was a banger.
Recommended by you, by the way. Yeah, it was a good-ass movie.
I don't know. I don't really be watching a bunch of movies.
Yeah. I was gonna say you might be the wrong dude to ask because you don't really watch a lot of stuff. Yeah, I mean,
I think the only thing I really watch is like horror movies. Like, if it's a horror movie that's like even remotely
good
mainstream, I've probably seen it.
Yeah, we kind of grew up on that though, you know, horror movies and stuff.
Yeah,
that was like our thing growing up. So like, it kind of feels like we're at home, you know. I would say Man of Steel. I'm pretty sure Man of Steel came out in the last 10 years. Batman v Superman. I like Batman v Superman. It wasn't like the best movie, but I liked it. Winter Soldier was awesome. Yeah, the last 10 years has had a lot of good movies. Like, entertainment is growing. I love that, man. The art is growing. It's super cool. I kind of think it's weird though, because when you're watching a movie, you're kind of watching other people pretend to be other things. Mm-hmm. And like, you're literally watching other humans pretending to be a character, and we're recording it and showing it to people. Like, I don't know if like a lot of people have even thought of that, but like, that's actually kind of like weird when you think of it. Like, we're entertained by other humans pretending to be characters. You know what I mean? But so yeah, thank you for that question, Sion. So we got Toni next. So Toni, good friend of mine, used to be a roommate of mine. I always love making her laugh, bro. Toni, you are like my friend Ben from Arizona. We spoke about him last week. His name is Arizona Ben, by the way, for people who are listening to the podcast. He actually messaged me and said, "Oh, I heard you mention me on your podcast," and he said a couple choice words that I won't be repeating here.
Which I don't know if he's talking about the situation that I'm referring to, but I played it for him over a headset.
Oh, really?
And I played it like 4 different times on like max volume, because every single time I tried to show him what you said, he tried to fucking play me like he wasn't like, he couldn't hear it. You would say like, "Oh yeah, we call him Arizona Ben," and you know, you're just making fun of him.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I don't know what you're trying to show me." And then I would put max volume. I'd play it again. I don't hear it, bro. I'm like, yeah, you fucking do.
Yeah, I should have my nephew show him, bro. He wouldn't have played Noah like that, dog. But Yeah, no. So Tony, you're like Arizona Ben, because like, bro, like you laugh at everything, and that's not even a bad thing, really. That's actually not a bad thing if you think about it. You literally laugh at everything, bro. It's crazy. But yeah, so her question: what series of movies do you think should have stopped after the first, and any movie you feel like should get another? That's a great question. Now, I don't know if this could be considered an answer to your question, but I've mentioned this before. Fast and the Furious. You could easily say in a way that it should have ended after the first movie or the seventh movie. Right? Now hear me out. Fast and the Furious could have ended right after one, doesn't need a sequel. Right? Or it could have it's number 7 should have been the last movie in that franchise, bro.
Where was the second one?
It was
I know it was Too Fast, Too Furious.
It was with
what was the
Tyrese, Ludacris, Paul Walker.
And then the third one was Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, and then the fourth one, Brian and Dom meet back up again.
They probably should have just ended after 2 then.
Yeah.
Tokyo Drift was fucking ass. And
Low
then the
key,
fourth one, it was like the start of the end. Like,
Yeah.
the fourth one, fifth one, like
because 5 and 6 were good though. I think 5 and 6
were
were
good,
amazing.
but like they didn't need to happen.
No, they didn't. No, and a lot of people won't agree with this, man. But after the abysmal number 8 and number 9, the franchise should have ended when Brian and Dom split ways in 7. Because obviously Paul Walker died, super tragic thing that happened to them, right, and to his family. But when those cars split, that's the end for me. That's the end, to me. Like just like with Star Wars should have ended at 6. Like yes, there is 7, 8, and 9, and there is stuff about them that I like, but bro, no, Star Wars ends when the Ewoks are dancing and there's like the fire ceremony and like Luke's looking over and the Force Ghosts are right there. And like everybody's like embracing because they just beat the, na 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 na. Bro, tell me you don't play that song and it's not lit. I'm actually gonna play it. I don't even care anymore. But tell me right now to someone when you hear this, bro, that like you're not pumped. Like we just like, bro, sometimes I'll play this on my headphones and I'm like, bro, like this song is crazy fucking fire, bro.
It's in your recent searches.
Yeah, too. It's in my recent searches too. Just listen to it. Right here. You playing it, right? You're just like, bro, imagine like you get out of your X-Wing dust and you're kind of dusty because you just fought up in space. And you're like looking over like, hey, dude, did Andrew get out of his X-Wing too? Yeah, and it's like just like hella Ewoks. Bro, it's a banger, dude. This is how Star Wars ends to me. They're just they're on the Force Moon of Endor. They're having a fucking kegger, dude. Yeah. But this is a banger, dude. I'm sorry. Like, I'm getting goosebumps here. It's crazy. All your people are landed. Like, we just defeated the Empire. What? This is the perfect song for that, dude. But yeah. So, to follow up your question, Tony, any movie I feel like should get another one? Yeah, the thing is, man, that's kind of a hard one too because, let's say Smile, right? We just mentioned Smile. That should get another one. But how many smiles are we going to do? Are we going to do a third one and a fourth one where they ruin the franchise? Like, you know what I mean?
I think that they ended off on a good note.
You think so?
I mean, they could, like you said, they could make more, but I'd rather them not make more to preserve the...
Yeah.
What do you call it?
Like the sanctity of the legacy of Smile? What about Paranormal Activity? That should have ended after one. Honestly. Well, the third movie was good. I liked Paranormal Activity 3.
But then it's like just like Fast and Furious. Like, yeah, like they had moments where like, 3 was kind of scary. 4 had like a moment of scary. There was spin-offs that were like, they were good movies, but they didn't need to happen. And it kind of ruined the fucking, like you said, the legacy of like the first one or the second one.
Tony, I know you didn't mention TV shows in your question, but I'm going to kind of loop that in with your question.
Same with Saw, by the way.
Oh, for sure, Saw.
And again, Saw had good movies. Like, you could be like, oh, man, Saw 5 or Saw 4 or Saw
like, they
7.
had good quality.
They were good, but, like, they could have stopped, like, after the first one.
Even number 2. Like, after number 2 or 3, yeah, you guys definitely shouldn't have milked that, man. Like, that's the problem with Hollywood nowadays, man. Like, the movies, you'll get, like, a really good first 1 or 2 movies. Then everything after that just has to be abysmal. Like, why, dude? Like, why does everything have to be there?
And then the longer the movie goes on, or the longer the series goes on of movies, they have like really poor writing to try to make everything make sense.
Yeah.
Like it saw like Amanda was the, you know, the plot twist of like episode 3 and 4 where she ended up being like his right hand person.
Yeah, and there wasn't the very
then,
last movie was the guy from the first movie who
yeah,
survived.
then the detective and at the end of like 5 or 6 was like he ended up being the right hand person, and then the Lawrence was the whole like, where the fuck were you guys in like 3 and 4? If you guys were the right hand mans this whole time,
Yeah.
you guys weren't there in 3 and 4, so it's fucking terrible writing, dude.
Yeah, that is terrible writing. Yeah, I mean, what should have stopped after one movie? I mean, you could probably go down a huge list. You're right, Dustin. A lot of movies. Like Saw definitely could have stopped after one movie. We could have. I mean, I really hope they don't do that to Smile. You know, the Conjuring movies weren't bad. Like, I feel like if they keep making more, it's like okay, right? Like Insidious, I would have been cool with one Insidious. Insidious 2 was cool to me, right? So there's like things where like if you keep it at like 1, 2, or 3 and don't continue, that's when you start to get like the people milking it and like bad writing and like forced agendas and, you know, virtue signaling. It's like, hey, we're in a world with like street racing cars, or we're in a world with like interdimensional ghost, and someone's like you know what I mean? As in like, hey, pray for Damar Hamlin, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you see what I'm saying? It's like we're in a fake world already. Right? So why bring in real world problems to a fake world that we're watching? That's my main problem with like why as series and movies continue. It's because like the writer's room is like, hey, for the 4th movie, even though this is a fake world already, let's add BLM in there. You know what I mean? Like, bro, yeah, Black lives do matter, but like, does it have to be in a fake world? Like in a fake world, you wouldn't have like an Earth problem, right? But I guess it's art, and art is subjective. So, you know, if the filmmakers and the writers want to do that, then that's them, right? But I feel like a lot of people don't like that already. A lot of people have a problem with that. Like if you add in stuff that's like, hey, you know, for instance, if like every movie from now on starts to have masks like COVID, like, oh, hey, you have a mask on? COVID. Hey. And it's like a scary movie. Like, bro, that takes me out of the movie. Because now I'm like, really, bro? And not that they can't do that, but I'm not trying to be preached to the entire movie. Wear a mask and save your neighbor. It's like, yeah, we know that though. So why do I have to watch a movie and hear you say that? I know, sorry, that was a little side rant there, but that's just funny to me.
I remember in Batman, fucking Catwoman's dad isn't even white. And she was talking about like how he wronged her and like killed her friend and shit.
Yeah.
And then she was like, let's get these white sons of bitches. or was it whatever she said?
Yeah,
she
was basically saying like rich white people.
Yeah, I was like, your dad's not even white.
Yeah, so I got a lot of pushback on that because I tried to defend it, you know. I was trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, like, hey, from her point of view, she might feel that way, you know. But yeah, now looking back on it, you're right, bro. That like, why did you add that into a movie that's already a fake world? And you add, not that you can't, like, I don't want to sit here and bash that, because there is times when you add real world. There is times where you add real world stuff to movies and it works, but this one just didn't work for me. And again, I got pushed back because I did try to defend that Catwoman stuff, but you know, hey, it is what it is, bro. You can't win every battle. And you know, so yeah, that is the end of episode 100. Thank you guys for sending in those questions for the Q&A. Next week we'll be straight back to our regular, you know, our business. We'll do what we do here, you know what I mean? Try to hit on some topics that, you know, you guys are interested in. Again, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, even Facebook. I post Facebook Reels now, and those do good numbers. So you can find us on all of those platforms. Feel free to reach out to me if, you know, you guys want me to talk about a certain topic. You know, if you didn't, or you did like something about a previous show, I'll listen. You know, as long as everybody keeps it respectful, because obviously, like, I'll respect you, right? So, but yeah, I wanted this to be. I don't want it to make this a big deal, but yeah, I'm really blessed that we made it to episode 100. It's actually really cool because not a lot of people get to say that. Like, not a lot of creators get to say, "Oh, my podcast is at episode 100." You know, not a lot of people get to say that. So the fact that we stuck with this and like have put in the work and the time and the effort, and we've seen growth from it is the most important thing. We've seen the growth, we've put in the work, and we have people who have stuck with us since day one and support what we do. As long as that continues, this continues. So thank you guys. And until next time, peace.